What's going on, patrons? So we hit another tier, thank you, on our Patreon, and something that I've been wanting to do is start getting discussion threads of new content going on our Patreon. I thought that this would be a good and positive place for people to come and talk about new comics or books or whatever, and comics is what I wanted to cover first since that's what we get consistently once a week. Even Star Wars Resistance right now is going to be weekly, but then, you know, there's going to be gaps in the schedule. But comics come out every single week without fail. I can't remember the last time we had a Wednesday where some new comics didn't come out. So today I'm just going to give you my very quick and dirty reaction to Star Wars issue 56 and Han Solo Imperial Cadet #1. That series started today. So starting with Star Wars, I liked it a lot. It's kind of interesting how much just a single artist change is going to affect how I feel about that comic. Like, I really liked the story ever since Kieran Gillen took over, and I feel like he's done a great job, but the art has always just kind of held me back from really getting into those comics. And early on, the Star Wars comics had me, like, just fully on board. I really liked them. We had the arcs where Luke went to Nar Shaddaa and got captured, and then Chewbacca came to rescue him and wound up fighting Dengar, and then Chewie and Han and Leia all wound up having lightsabers and fighting in this arena, and it's like stuff that could only really happen in comics, but I felt like it was really fun and I was really into it. And then Kieran Gillen started to take over after, I think Jason Aaron, who was writing it, he started to, I don't know, slow down, maybe lose some creative steam, but Kieran Gillen came on and I was really into what he was doing with the story. But by then, Salvatore Larroca had started doing the art, and I just didn't like the art and I couldn't get into it. And now I'm kind of finally feeling like we're coming back on the Star Wars series. And issue 56 was interesting, it was funny, it was fun. Like most first issues in a new arc, it was a lot of setup and we didn't really dive into a lot of exciting stuff, but it was also enough to keep me intrigued. So when we last left our heroes, Luke and Leia and Han and 3PO, who is only a torso and up right now, he lost his legs, and R2 have all been separated from the rebellion. They're trying to get home, and they have the help of Sana Starros. They try to take a back way around the Empire, still run into them, but Sana basically ejects them all down to a moon for safekeeping so that the Empire can search your ship and be like, okay, you're fine. So they land on this moon, and they run into a mysterious group of people, and they take them to, like, this palatial estate, like this mansion, and that's all we know so far. Again, not a lot to go on, but the new location of this smuggler's run where the new moon, Hubin, however you want to pronounce that, that's where they are now, and it was like this planet that's just covered in moons. It looked really pretty. I liked the art on that. I just liked the way that it looked. So that was cool. I was intrigued by these new characters, these mystery people that have cool armor but then take them to this very nice location. I'm interested to see where all that goes. But that's about all we can say there. Moving on to Han Solo Imperial Cadet #1. I wasn't as into this comic. It's fine. My only problem with it was, well, first of all, it starts out and it, again, kind of gives us a summary of what happened in Solo: A Star Wars Story. So I'm like, alright, now I have seen the movie, I have read the adaptation, I have begun the comic adaptation, and now in Han Solo Imperial Cadet, I have seen this story 4 separate times. So I'm like, I'm over it. I get the white worms and all that. I understand how Solo got his name, which I still think is a little bit silly, but now we're getting into what he did in his early days in the Empire, and it does pretty much pick up from him leaving Corellia, and it goes to his first days in basic training, and it's like exactly what you would expect Han to be like in Imperial training. And I guess that's my issue with it, is that I don't know if I needed this story to be told to me, because in my head I'm like, oh yeah, he probably mouthed off every step of the way and bucked orders and talked back, and that's exactly what he's doing. And then at the end of the issue, he does steal a TIE fighter to try to immediately go back to Corellia. That was when things took a bit of a turn. Of course, he doesn't escape. He is shot down. But that's kind of all there was to it, you know? So that one just was kind of boring, I guess, to me. But just because I'm like, give me something a little more unexpected. And now he's, I guess he's going to be arrested, but we know that there's no long-lasting consequences of him stealing a TIE fighter. And I'm interested to see, I guess, how he gets out of that, but also it's like, this is kind of a prequel to most of what we know in Solo, so like, we know that it doesn't affect a whole lot of things, so I don't know, that's just kind of the issue with prequel stories. They can work. Like, the Darth Maul comic I felt was very worthwhile. I really liked that story, but the jury is still out on whether or not Han Solo Imperial Cadet is going to be what I would call worth your time. But I'm willing to reserve my judgment until issue 5 is out. But yeah, that's my reaction to both of the comics that came out today. If you guys read them, or if you want to talk about these events in the comments, please do. I would love for us to just start talking about Star Wars content on our Patreon as well, and get the community even more and more involved. So that's it. Again, leave your questions and comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for being patrons and supporting the channel, and may the Force be with you.